How you doing? This is Sean McVay, Sean's Outdoor Adventures, broadcasting to you live from Lamar, Pennsylvania, potentially for the last time, as I am all set to move to Iowa. This has been a large undertaking and we are getting close. I had to wait till my daughter finished preschool, which was less than a week ago now. And so now all the table is clear. I can head out to my new position in Iowa. And it's a massive undertaking. Those of you who have moved can relate. And those of you who have moved very far can relate all the more. So I don't even know if anyone's going to show up here today. I'm doing the last live broadcast. We'll see. I mean, most people are working, I know. I do know some people that have been messaging me. Actually, Andrew Penzi from Vital Point, he messaged me a little while ago saying boo-hoo, you know, for last live broadcast from Pennsylvania. Hey, John, how you doing? Brennan Dake, what's up? Irvin, how are you? Vital Point, I just mentioned you. I am showing up, he says. So anyway, there are some people actually showing up. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to. What's up, Andre? Yes, moving can definitely be super stressful. Wyatt, how are you? Jared, Matt, we got all kinds. Scott, all these people are signing on. Matt, I am moving to Iowa. I'm not sure how you missed that one, but I am Audi 5000. I'm moving about 1,000 miles away, roughly. Not too far off of that. Let's see. Scott says he's at work. I hope you don't get in trouble, Scott. That's funny. Last year, or months ago, I was doing some live broadcasts. And I would get like, you know, packages delivered and I would do box openings. And this kid kept, I forget his name now, but he's like, yeah, I'm in science class. And I'm like, what are you doing watching my live broadcast on your phone in science class? Yes, Vital Point, Land of the Giants. So I am excited about the move to Iowa, as many of you know. I have actually started studying the maps. I've had so much to deal with that I hadn't even really got to look at them until like the last couple nights. So right before going to bed, oh, Lewis Brennan's on. He just finished work. He's on his way to softball. So hit a home run for us, Lewis. Whack it out of the park. So someone picked up an Iowa shed from an auction. Fee fi fo fum. Yeah, so they're talking about Giants. All right. So anyway, let me just say this. Those of you who are watching, this is something I was really strongly considering doing. And I think I'm going to do it. We'll see if I make the decision. But what I'm holding right here, folks, this is the first like quality GPS I ever bought myself with topo maps preloaded and everything. On this GPS is about 13 years of intense hard work, data, waypoints, probably over 1,000 waypoints in Pennsylvania, New York, and Maryland. Right here, folks. This is the bomb. But this is my GPS. The first one, hold on, let me grab my other one. It's sitting right here. I always wanted a bigger screen after I started using my smartphone for stuff, so I bought this huge Garmin. But anyway, this one, I was thinking of potentially auctioning it off as a fundraiser. If you're interested in that, make sure you watch my channel. I will make an announcement if I decide to do that. Southern Boys Bow Hunting, what's up to you? So Brennan says it's been raining out there in Iowa for like 3 days, real bad weather. And by the way, guys, those of you who are watching, like right now, this is the time of year I usually start hanging my trail cameras, because as you get to the end of June, at least in the Northeast where I've been for a long time, that's when you really start to see what the bucks are potentially going to look like. You're starting to get some Shazam going up there. John says, wow, a lot of work and info in that. You are right, my friend. This is 13 years of sweat labor, boots on the ground, studying maps, all of it right there. So I think that would be definitely worth it to somebody. What's up from Brazil, Andre? Thanks for all the knowledge that you share with us. Wish you and your family the best in the next chapter of your life. God bless you all. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Well, anyway, I'm just doing a last minute live broadcast. And as soon as I'm done this broadcast, I'm actually going to be packing up what's left. You want to see what a mess this room is? Here, let's go on tour, folks. Here, let me just... So right over here, we've got boxes of bubble wrap stuff. Over here, we got boxes of stuff. Coming around here, we've got... That's my screen where I'm actually seeing... You know, I'll put my hand out here so you can see. So, see on that? That's how I see what's going on. But this is... And then I have stuff over here. This is a sad thing. These boxes are all my bows. Like, I boxed them up yesterday. It made me sad because then I couldn't shoot. But, you know, it's only for a few days, I guess. Right? So, anyway, that's the mess that's in this room. And this isn't even the messiest of the mess rooms. But when you're in the process of packing... It's disaster zone. Let's see. Jimmy says, "Hey Sean, going to miss you around Lock Haven." Oh, thanks, Jimmy. I don't know if we've ever crossed. Have we ever crossed paths, Jimmy? I don't even know. If we did, let me know. All right, Eric. Eric wants me to look him up when I get to Marion. He would be happy to show me around. Thanks, Eric. I will try to remember your name. It's going to be a lot, so you can always shoot me an email too and help me remember. What's up, Chris? Chiming in from work. That's funny. Jared Adams. So, hey Sean, I haven't seen anything on them on your channel, but I was wondering what you think about Grim Reaper broadheads. I shoot the Whitetail Special 100 and have had some massive blood trails. Jared, I've never used those, but I have a buddy that used them for a while, and he ended up switching. He had some success, but then also had a deer he didn't find, and that upset him, so he switched brands. But I'm sure they're pretty decent. I've heard of a lot of people using them, but I haven't experienced them myself. So the wall man's going to miss me from PA. Thank you, Eric. He will do. Oh, okay. That's right, Jim. Yes, so from when my son played Little League. I gotcha. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of everybody. I apologize, Jimmy. Yeah, hopefully I do get to get a big one in Iowa. We'll see. Lewis, what are you talking about? The compass doesn't work? I must have missed something. Lewis Brennan is saying the compass doesn't work either. I don't know. Are you referring to the GPS? I don't know. Because it does. But anyway, so if there's any last minute questions, fire them away. Otherwise, I'll just sign off and keep packing. I just figured, hey, we're about to move. This is a nostalgic goodbye from the basement in Lamar. The nicely finished basement that I finished so that I could have a nicer place to make videos. Safe travels, says Chris. Good luck. Get back to work, Chris. Take care of business. I did get your email earlier. I didn't really get to look at it closely, though, because I was busy packing. Brennan says, I love the public land there. I know, Brennan. I was actually really cranking on the maps last night. And a lot of people don't realize that, especially where I'm going to be and where you're already at, it's not like dead flat. There is a lot of topography to work with. There's lots of draws and spurs, and I mean you got to remember too, there was a lot of erosion that took place out in the Midwest in the past, and a lot of topography resulted from that. A lot of it's from erosion. It's not like, you know, the continental drift platelet, whatever they call that, you know, the theory of how the mountains have been formed, where the continents collided and pushed up the, you know, the ground into what we now see as the ridges and mountains. It's not like that out there in the Midwest. It's mostly from erosion. Hey Jack, how are you? Thanks for the blessing. A lot of people are saying good luck. Any hunting reviews coming? Jared, what in reference to what? Hunting reviews on products, or what exactly do you mean there? Thanks for the blessings, John. And Brennan said exactly. Yeah, there's actually, folks, there's a lot to work with out there in Iowa as far as map reading, topography, and stuff. And I am fired up beyond belief. I cannot wait to get some boots on the ground and do some speed scouting. I'm just going to be blazing trails through. If you see a flash and a flame, that was probably me going by. So Andre has a question. What do you think your biggest challenges will be in Iowa? My biggest challenges. Hold on, my wife's calling. Hello? That's all right. I'm actually broadcasting live right now. No, it's all right. Did you get the message I left? Were you able to get that? Okay, perfect. All right, love you. All right, bye. She's laughing. She's like, oh, I forgot you were broadcasting. What will be my biggest challenges in Iowa? I think not knowing what to expect as far as hunting pressure on public land. Maybe Brennan, you can chime in on that. But in Pennsylvania, we have the largest number of licensed hunters per square mile out of the whole country. So we have a lot of hunting pressure here. I don't know what I'm going to be dealing with out there because I'm going to be actually living on the edge of a city. It's actually, Cedar Rapids is considered a city. So there's a lot of people, and it's not far from Iowa City, a lot of people. So I don't know, that could be a challenge for me, but I really don't know. Let's see if there's any other questions. Yes, Matt, does this mean map reading challenge in Iowa? I've actually had a lot of people reach out to me who already live in Iowa, and I am considering rallying some troops who live and reside in Iowa to say, hey, do you want to get together and do a map reading challenge this year? It's a strong consideration. Those of you who live in Iowa, maybe you're going to start salivating at that. But it's a strong consideration, Matt. So keep tuned in for that. Yes, Aaron, I'm moving to Iowa, but I will be hunting in Ohio this year. The map reading challenge is going to be, the official map reading challenge is going to be, so Eric said it's glacial scoring. Maybe that's what caused the topography out there. There you have it, folks. Glacial scoring. I don't know. I'm not an expert on any of that stuff. So, so John Doe says, tell us something about what you're into apart from God and hunting. Fishing. I'm mostly an outdoorsman type of person, so I'm not the kind of person that likes to like stare at art or just travel for the sake of traveling. I'm into engaging with the outdoors. So like hunting, fishing, those are activities where you are doing something that's a direct involvement with the experience of nature, and that's what appeals to me. I love my kids, and so I'm into trying to spend time with them. But I guess I don't have a whole lot. Those are such strong areas of interest: the outdoors, archery and hunting, and fishing, and then my family and God. That just about absorbs just about everything. I don't have any particular hobbies beyond that. I like tinkering and building things. Obviously, I did all this, but that's about it. I do play the guitar as well and like to sing, but some other time I'll do something like that. Now, where was that at? Let's see. What town are you moving to, Brian? It's Cedar Rapids. And 3 months Vital Point is fired up. What do you do for the Catholic Church? I will be the Director of Adult Faith Formation for St. Joseph's in Marion, Iowa. So anybody who's in that area, feel free to pop on in and, you know, if you want to get into any of the programs I'll be running, we would love to have you. Let's see. Brendan said there's a couple areas we can scout. So the Wall Man said, will you come back to PA in the future to bow hunt whitetail again? I don't know. It's going to be hard to travel that far to hunt whitetail in PA when you live in Iowa. And that was one of the reasons I think I wanted to move to Iowa, was to have somewhere where I felt like the hunting was enough for me to not have to travel far for more hunting. So I don't know. Will I come back? It's possible. We'll see what God has in store. I don't know. I'm asked if I'm going to be near LeClaire. I don't know that city. I'll have to look it up. I'm still not super familiar with the area out there. So Jimmy's asking me to leave some public land spots in our area. Hey Jimmy, send me an email. I'll hook you up with some spots. Justin, what's this say? Anything you want me to bring with me from the area next time I'm in Iowa? What will you miss most? Well, the funny thing is, I grew up near Philadelphia, where there's the Hostess, like crimpets and stuff like that. So that was always the joke. But I don't know. Oh, you know what it is? Should I even say this? But Yuengling, which is a Pennsylvania brewed beer, they don't have it out there. And so I'm actually bringing some for a guy that I'm going to work with who is from Pennsylvania and regrets not being able to get it. So I was actually going to bring some out for him. I'm not planning to bring any for myself, but I don't know. I don't know what I'll miss. But before you come out, let me know and I'll tell you if there's anything I'm missing. Let's see. Do you have any tips on how to juggle a wife, new baby, and hunting? Yeah, Richard, so I always kind of view the whole thing wrapped up in my relationship with God. Like, I try to do the best I can for my family, but still etch out some time. So, so let's take a week. Take a week at a time. Look at the whole week and how much time you're going to spend working. And then, okay, I want to set aside X amount of hours with my family. So let's say, rather than try to, squeeze in every single hunt you can, look at your biggest blocks of time where you could hunt for, let's say, like a 4-hour time period. And rather than do short hunts here and there, just give that time to your family so that when it comes time for that bigger block time to hunt, you can just invest in that and totally immerse. Now, sometimes you have issues with weather. Look at the weather forecast, the weekly forecast, and if there's a way to look at what day is going to give you the best weather and see if you can move that larger block of time that you might have, if it's possible to move that to that good day of weather and build everything else around that, and totally invest yourself in those times that you set aside for your family, all those other days. That's how I've tried to do it, and it's hard because a lot of us were absorbed in the thought of hunting that time of year. And so those times where your family, you just try to actually put that aside. Just put it aside and give them everything. And that's going to keep them happier a lot more of the time when you're giving them time rather than just never being around, or the time that you are around is kind of short and it's not high quality because you're scattered and your mind's going different places. So that would be my suggestion, is look into maybe considering something like that, especially with a baby. You're in an adjustment time period. What town am I in PA? I live currently in Lamar for a couple more days. All right, so Brennan plowed the church this winter. That's cool. Let's see. Any other questions? Sorry, there's so many things to read here. I hate the blank period. What are your thoughts on the hybrid sights with both fixed and moving pins? I've actually been interested by something like the Trophy Ridge React. What's that called? The React Trio, I think it is. So you have you sight in basically 3 pins, like 20, 30, 40, but then that 40 pin, it can be, you have a dial, you can move it and shoot, let's say 100 yards. So if you're going to be hunting in like the plains kind of area where you could have some longer shots, I think something like that is actually interesting, and I'm curious. I might even pick up one of those, but I haven't used one before. Are we going to see any fishing? Yes, I actually would like to film some fishing videos, and I forget the person's screen name now, or whatever. But somebody wrote to me and said that there's actually some good even trout fishing out there in that area, which I didn't know that. So I'm looking forward to bringing the fishing rods. I actually got them packed up right here. They're going out, and I do plan to do some fishing when I get out there. So hopefully we'll be able to make some videos out of that. So, hey, watching in the UK, but you love my country. You've tried to move there, but the man says no. Well, keep at it. Maybe if one door doesn't open, keep knocking. Maybe another will. Let's see. Hello from Portugal. How are you? Try the kinetic compound bow. Okay. What kind of peep sight would you recommend for your SB1? They do come with a peep sight, but it's the type where you have to train your string so that you have to get it lined up just right. So let's say you install it to the right height, but it's facing sideways. That means you have to put the bow in a bow press and put like a half a twist in the string, to bring it around, and then it sometimes requires a little training. So there are those that have the rubber tubing that you could tie that to your cables. So it really depends on how much access you have to people who can work on your bow for you, and how willing you are to have to train it a little bit. A lot of your newer bows and beginner bows, they use that rubber tube type of peep sight, because no matter where it's at in the string, when you come to full draw, that rubber tubing pulls it straight for you to look through. So you can look into that. Let's see. If you have a question, make sure you put a question mark, because it's hard to, there's so many comments and stuff. Okay, so Rock Hamper, that brought me to this channel in the first place. Let's see. Someone stumbled across this channel, started to get into archery and hunting, already hooked. Well, thank you, Rock Hamper. So Jeremy's asking about the 4th Arrow camera arm. Actually, Vital Point, I don't know if he's still on. He has one. And I have messed with them. They're okay. And if you are hunting in an area where your trees are, for the most part, vertical, a lot of camera arms work. I've used camera arms over the years that had no adjustment this way if you were on an angled tree, and I had no trouble. Because in Pennsylvania, you have a lot of oak trees that are fairly straight. I'm going up in them in climbers. The 4th Arrow arms that have a pivoting ball head, so no matter what angle on the tree it is, you can level that thing out, which is helpful if you're hunting an area with a lot of crooked trees. Actually where I hunted on my public land hunt a couple years ago in Iowa, there was a lot more crooked trees than straight trees, and there was a lot of situations I was not able to use my climber. I was still able to use my camera arm with efficiency, but some of those locations, it would be easier if you had something like that. It's okay. I mean, the design is a little awkward. Some of it, like the little handle that comes off and it just can dangle, or you could lose it. I mean, there's some things about it that weren't my favorite as far as design, but I mean, it works. Yeah, Vital Point says he thinks that the 4th arm is worth it, but it's slightly heavier. What was it that got you into hunting? So my dad was a bow hunter. He's the first one in our family that kind of bow hunted. His friends kind of got him into it. And so he gave me my first bow when I was 4 years old. And I loved archery from the start. And as I grew, I wanted to go hunting. I mean, I would run around the yard. If you read, anybody who's read my hunting book I talked about when I was a little kid, I would run around a yard with my little tiny recurve shooting at pheasants and rabbits and you know, anything that had legs and or that moved. And you know, I just loved it. So you know, my dad, when I was old enough, he started to take me hunting, and I was just, it took me 4 years to get a deer, and I was just obsessed with it, you know, and I've just always enjoyed it ever since. How much harder do you think it is to hunt without being in tree stand? Well, it really all depends on the wind. You know, if you're in an area where you have a fairly consistent wind, like when I hunted places in the Midwest, you know, Illinois, Iowa, the wind's fairly consistent, and in the mountains in the east, it's constantly swirling. So with the constantly swirling wind, it's extremely difficult to hunt, even in a tree stand. But on the ground, even more so, because your scent's just getting blown all over. So it really depends on your conditions. If you're in an area where the wind is fairly consistent, you can actually get yourself set up on the downwind side of a travel corridor, a food source, a bedding area, and have some decent success. And there's plenty of people that hunt out of ground blinds, like totally concealed ground blinds, like permanent ones, where they can keep their odor in. If you have an option to do that, that's very helpful too. Let's see, I see a question mark. So Jason Curry is a big fan. Here's a question. He used a single pin sight, but he used to use a multi-pin. I would like to go back to multi-pin, but I realized, hold on, I just lost the question. I realized as soon as the first pin goes over the target, wait a sec. He would like to go back to a multi-pin, but so as the first pin goes over the target, advice. I'm not exactly sure. That last sentence has me a little confused. So yeah, I use a multi-pin, and you know, if I'm aiming, if you're at the bottom, maybe you're asking if you get to the last pin and then what do you do? So I have a 5-pin sight, so I actually can shoot out to 60 yards. Some have 3 pins, so that you typically set it at 20, 30, 40 yards. Let's say you're at 40 yards and you're at a 3D shoot and there's a 50-yard target. Well, what you would really want to do is practice in advance how high do you need to hold that pin in order to, as you get farther back, and especially the heavier arrows, your pin gap's going to increase even more. So if you look at your pin gap from the last 2 pins, you're going to want even more of a gap as far as where you're guesstimating. So I don't know if that's the question, but if it is, hopefully that answered it for you. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, I don't see any more question marks. We've been going on for almost a half hour, and I have a lot to get to. So those of you, I see Steve jumping on there. How you doing, Steve? Those of you who tuned in, I want to say thank you. I want to say thanks to everybody who's been watching my stuff. I want to say thanks to everybody who will continue to watch my stuff. And I hope to continue to grow my channel. And that is not something that will end. I mean, I'm going to be working a full-time job, but I can still make videos. I can still do live streams. I've done this long enough now that I know how to manage my time to where I can still put some videos together in my, in the time increments that I have outside of the other obligations I have. So I want to say thanks again to all of you, and I hope that you've enjoyed what I've been doing. I hope you've enjoyed my stuff here in PA, and those of you who are interested to see what happens in Iowa, I am interested to see. And if I decide to do this, keep an eye out for that if you want to potentially put in a chance to win my GPS with like about 1,000 waypoints in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New York. Keep an eye out for that. So thank you guys. I'm going to tune out as I go over here to click the button that makes this whole thing go away. God bless you.